Good morning, everybody. My name is Dave Finale, and we caught Dorally drinking water. Okay, my name is Dave Finale. This is Real Estate Talk 304. It is April 5th, 2024. I want to welcome everybody to a great show. It's 304 with 301 weeks in a row. We're coming up on 6 years of doing this in a row. I'm really excited about this. It's going to be a great broadcast. We're going to talk about a great journey. We're going to talk about, the great kind of marketing that ingenuity can get you, and how it can work for you. And we're going to go through that step by step to a point. And I can't wait, Dorally. Thanks so much for coming. Nelson, hit the videotape.
Real estate agents, are you looking to acquire clients consistently to grow your business and income for a great lifestyle? Well, this is Dave Finale, and I'm here to bring you the Real Estate Skill Builder broadcast, Real Estate Talk TGIF, brought to you by Real Estate Skill Builder and the Modern Agent team.
Good morning, everybody. Again, my name is Dave Finale. This is Real Estate Talk TGIF, and this broadcast is brought to you by njheroesprogram.com, where what I try to do in New Jersey is help heroes, all different types of heroes, get that wonderful feeling of home ownership, either buying or selling. We'll save you some money. So just go to njheroesprogram.com, see if you qualify, and we'll have a conversation on what we can do for you. But here we are. We're with Dorally Leyva, and we are going to talk about real estate. Real Estate Talk TGIF. Sounds good to me. Dorally, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Dave.
You're so welcome. I first came aware of you in the group that we're in, the Fast Forward Movement. And if you guys never heard of that, please go to the Fast Forward Movement on Facebook to find out what it's all about, or fastforwardmovement.com. It's a great group. We believe in collaboration over competition. And that's what we do. We collaborate. And I saw Dorally show a process that we're going to talk about in a little while. That was really cool because I love marketing, and a lot of people do. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about. But before we get started, Dorally, and I ask you your journey and your story, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And that question is, what does TGIF stand for?
TGIF? Thank God it's Friday.
You are so close. And don't worry about it. Most people miss it unless they've known me or been on a broadcast before. But thank God it's finale. It's just really kind of simple. It's right there. But most people do miss it. That's cool. Anyway, Dorally, here we are. It is 2024, and our lives change, right? Our processes change and everything changes. We've gone through market after market, a pandemic, and people get into this business and they get out of this business. And, we're in a little bit of a flux of what's going on in our business now. But let's talk about you first and how changes have made you do different things as far as business, as far as everything else. Whoops, I just lost something there. Okay, there we go. Anyway, tell me your story. Tell me your journey. I love to hear where people come from and how they got where they got and are today. Talk to me.
So I started in the business as a mortgage processor. So I was behind the scenes helping loan officers get, home loans through the hoops and get them closed. So I was like, how hard can it be to get my real estate license and sell one house a month? Found out it's not as easy as I thought in my head.
One house a month. That's a goal for a lot of people. They think they're going to sell 30, 40, 50, but yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
Right. It's a lot easier said than done. So I got my real estate license, not thinking, honestly, I was ever going to do this full time. But then I went to a coaching conference, and I was like, oh man, like this is like a whole thing. Like people are super successful in doing this. I'm like, I want to do this too. So I prayed a lot, they had a household for my house. My mom lives with me. My grandma lived with me. So I prayed a lot. I was like, God, please give me answers. I want to know what to do. And all my prayers led to, go into real estate full time. So, one of the biggest signs that I got was I went to visit one of my buddies after surgery and brought her kid some pizza. She said she had been praying about me. And just 2 weeks prior to that, I had gone to like a business goal setting class. Mm-hmm. One of the things I was asked to write down was, what do I do? And one of the things I wrote was, I help people see that the impossible is possible. A lot of people feel like, real estate is an impossible thing. It's impossible to own a house. So fast forward to me at my friend again. She was saying, I was praying about you, and a picture of you came to my head of a young couple that I had just helped buy a home. And she said, God asked me to tell you that you're doing this because you're helping your people, I'm Hispanic, see that the impossible is possible. And Dave, when I tell you, I started crying because I had just written that 2 weeks prior to that, and my friend had no clue. So it was a divine thing for me. And now I'm doing this full time. I kind of impulsive and went into it like in a whim. I didn't really have any money saved, but I said, this is going to work out. There's no plan A. There's no plan B. There's only plan A, and that's it. Like, I'm going to do this.
There's only plan A.
There's only plan A.
Wow. You know what?
It's going to work.
To a lot of people, that's really scary.
It is. It's
right?
really scary for me too.
Right. So, okay. So, but you did start out. Tell me how you started out. I mean, you started out. You're in another thing having to do with real estate. So, talk to me about your transition from where you were.
So I was a mortgage processor for 5 years. I knew like behind the scenes, right? And then I got my license. I started at another brokerage. I was there for about 1.5 years. I was part-time. 2019, I got my license late 2018. I didn't do anything with it. Started really working 2019. I sold 6 houses 2019.
Right.
I was a part of a team up until June of 2020. That's when I went out as a solo agent. So 6 houses sold in 2019 and 56 houses sold in 2020.
Wait a minute. 6 to 56.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Well, I mean, 6 for your first real year of working it. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not great. It's not going to, set anything on fire, but it's good, right?
Yeah, it was part-time as well.
Depending on the price point. I mean, price point in my area, that's real good for was it mostly buyers or was it sellers too?
It was buyers. It was all buyers.
It was all buyers. Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the difference between the 6 houses and how did you get the business for those 6 houses? Let's start there.
Just posting on Facebook. Like a lot of my success has come from Facebook. Most of my success.
How so?
So I was part of a team, and my team lead at that time suggested I just go to new build homes and do Facebook Lives. So that's kind of how it got started. I continued doing Facebook Lives through 2020, and I just built a big book of followings and people reaching out to me about new houses. At that time, we had like a $1,500 move-in to a brand new house. So that's what I kept talking about over and over again. And I got a lot of people to raise their hand. And honestly, pandemic came in March of 2020. And I was scared. I was a new agent. I had just left my job. I had just purchased my own house. So, I didn't have any money. So I was praying. I was like, God, you told me this is what I'm meant to be doing. So this is how I talk to God. I said, you better make it rain for me. And so I'm like, you send me the people, I'll do the work. And he did. Like, he sent me all the people. So I got to work.
What's really interesting is we talked about this the other day, and I told you I would tell this story, but I'll get to it in a second. But you asked or told in faith God to send me the people, I'll do the work. Mm-hmm. He did, I did, right? So I want everybody to understand when they get into this business or in this business, the most important thing that one has to do is to take the action steps from the things that they say they want to do.
Right.
So one of the things that I do on a regular basis is I help agents build their business. And one of the things they aren't aware of is that I'm actually going to call them and see if they're doing the work that they said they were going to do to achieve what they wanted to achieve. Right. So I sent out an email earlier today before we came on because I had sent some information to a newer agent. And I said, she's ready to go. She's got the information. She's going to get started. And I said, great. Now it's time for you to do what you said you wanted to do. Right. And it's it's just for people to understand this. I want to tell a little joke. The joke is that this guy goes to church every day and he prays and he prays and he prays. And what's he praying for? That he wins the lottery. Please, God, let me win the lottery. Please, God, let me win the lottery. And then after a few months, God comes down and says, hey, buddy. He looks up and says, yeah. He says, could you do me a favor? Help me out? Buy a ticket? So it's like, buy that ticket. If you say you want to do something, just freaking do it.
Right.
That I think, Dorally, I think it's one of the biggest issues in our business. People see all the glamour with HGTV and they see the agency with Maurizio on TV and all this other, crap. And it's not real. And people did that. So you went from 6 to 56 with faith, and your faith was good enough. Good enough. It's excellent. I mean, having faith is really important. I know exactly from where you speak, because it does change lives if you do the work. So you went from 6 to 56. What was the difference in your business to actually generate the business?
So, like, what are you asking? What I did to generate that business? I did a lot of Facebook lives, and then a lot of Facebook lives at that time. Social media wasn't really what it is now, right? In 2024, talking about 4 years ago. Then I just started posting or going live from Facebook and then a little bit from Instagram as well. And that's honestly how I got most of my people. Then referrals started coming in. So like I'm a newer agent, but by 2021, I would say like about 40% of my business is referrals from the people I just closed the year before, 2019 and 2020. So my clients love me and I love my clients too. So like we make it fun. I make real estate fun. So they refer me a lot of people. And then my family refers me a lot of people. People I randomly meet sometimes refer me a lot of people. So it's really interesting. Me just having a conversation with someone can turn into a referral for me just because people love talking to me. People tend to trust me.
A lot of times, I'm going to repeat some of the things you say. And the reason I do that is because when I say that this business is hard, but it's extremely difficult, I don't know what's beeping. It's not me. So this business is not as difficult as everyone makes it out to be. And it's not as easy as everybody wants it to be. But you just said the key was having conversations with people, being you and having fun, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have when, I got a lead gen, I got to make calls. And see, the way I look at that and at lead generation is I'm going to have fun doing it. I'm going to make the calls and I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to see how I can help them. I try to wake up every day and see who can I help today, whether it's an agent or a seller. I'm going to do that. And you started having fun with it. And it was just your personality. It was just you. Yeah. So with faith and you being you, it worked to actually build a business in probably the darkest time of our lives, the pandemic, and it kept going. How did you sustain business as time went on, Dorally?
Social media, but one thing I started doing because there was another buddy of mine here locally that was doing this a lot, and for a bit I ignored it because I'm like, how can he get any business from this? And he was doing a lot of advertising on Facebook Marketplace,
right?
So, and Facebook that's free. Facebook Marketplace, like where you usually go sell your bikes and buy like
where I've sold my couch and my recliner and my drill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that's I'm finding a lot of clients there, and guess what? It's free. It's honestly super simple. Just like you would put a couch up for sale, I started posting houses up for sale. Description. I'm a high D on the disc. I don't like paragraphs, so I just started posting very simple. Just give me bullet points. That's all I want. I want to know the main points of whatever you're trying to tell me. So I started posting kind of like how I like to read things. A little emoji, 3 bedrooms, another emoji, 2 baths, another emoji. Like just made it fun. and kind of gave people bullet points of the address, major cross streets, brief description of the house. And I am my local area expert when it comes to first time home buyer programs. So I really started highlighting those programs that not a lot of other realtors were talking about. So I started, saying, hey, no down payment needed. And those posts are more specific to first time home buyers. So I started highlighting those things like, hey, you only need about, I don't know, $2,000 out of pocket to get into this house. So I started using that here and there. I got a few clients, but in 2021, late 2021, that's really when I was like, all right, let me like put some serious thought into this and be consistent about posting on Facebook Marketplace, because at the end of the day, it's free, right? I was paying hundreds of dollars a month for realtor.com and not really seeing a return on it. So I started doing this consistently when I ran into this amazing new first time homebuyer program. And in 2022, I had about 3 closings from Facebook Marketplace. 2023, I had 12 closings from Facebook Marketplace. And year to date, I'm at five closings. And again, like these leads are free. I have
that's pretty amazing. All right, so when I put a couch up, I'm putting pictures of the couch, right? And I'm saying that it's a blue leather couch, 3 years old, like new, no blemishes. This is where you see the house. Let's see the couch, and it's $100. What's the difference between what I just said to list my couch for sale with a couple of pictures? I got a front picture, I got a side picture. In the description, I'm probably putting the size of it, how high it is, how long it is. What's the difference, Dorally, between that and how you're posting the house on Marketplace?
Not a lot of difference, to be honest with you. I just go on the MLS. I pick a listing there. If I have listings, then I publish my own listings. I pick four pictures: front of the house, back of the house, living room, and kitchen. So I know my audience. My audience likes big backyards. They like RV gates. Usually they tend to like 1-story houses. So I cater to the people I want to market to, right? And I just pick, again, go to the MLS, pick something that I feel like my audience will like. I post 4 pictures, a brief description, and the same thing, like recently renovated, if it's recently renovated, RV gate, if that's what I want to highlight. I just say a brief, like just you did a description of whatever I'm selling, and that's what I post.
But all in bullet points with emojis.
Yeah.
And I've seen these, and I want to tell everybody, the truth be told, I've actually done it. It's been successful. I've actually trained it from what you have given me, Dorally, and I've trained it to new agents. Hear me, guys? New agents. You want to find your own business rather than worried about getting them from somebody else? This does work. I can confer with everything that Dorally has said because I know it works. Okay. So how often are you posting a house?
I usually tend to get better responses when I post a house on Thursday and Friday, because then over the weekend, people are usually scrolling Facebook Marketplace, usually to buy something they don't need, Dave. You know how that goes.
Yes.
We all do it. We're all guilty.
And then they decide to buy it. They negotiate over Facebook, and they get there and says, I don't want this piece of crap.
Right. Or they weren't even looking for whatever they're buying, right? But they see it, they want it. And I feel like that's kind of what happens with Facebook Marketplace. And a couple clients have told me, they're like, I was looking for, I don't know, a couch, and I saw your post for this house with, the programs I offer, and I couldn't believe there was only like, I thought it was too good to be true that you only needed $2,000 to get into your own house. And here we are, like under contract, about to close next week. So like I get comments like that all the time from my clients that were looking for something completely random. They run into one of my ads and then they contact me. And obviously, like, because my offerings are like, hey, buy a house from $2,000 to $6,000 out of pocket. I posted lower monthly payment than other people would post, and so people get curious, and more often than not, they're like, man, I thought this was too good to be true. But once we close, they're like, I thought you were a scam. Like, you have no idea how many clients were like, we stalked you before we even contacted you because this looked too good to be true. And, like, we didn't think it was possible. Again, like, all those messages from the beginning, from what I said, right? Like, I didn't think it was possible to buy a house. And then, so that just gives me like further confirmation, like every day, right? From what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because that's what the message my friend had for me. But anyway, going back to the Facebook Marketplace, it's honestly super simple. A lot of people see my presentation in our group and they're like, is this it? Is this all you're doing? Like, they really want to complicate it. And this is very simple. I mean, you've done it. It's a super simple process.
So I want to contradict what you just said. It is super simple, but you've said a few things that people really need to take note of. Okay. You know your customer.
Mm-hmm.
You know who your customer is.
Right.
And without saying it, you have the perfect client avatar that this is the person I am going after. They like this, they like this, they like this. Mm-hmm. Probably a first-time home buyer. Right. You know what they need, down payment or no money down, et cetera, et cetera. But through your experience and through your sphere of influence, I'm sure you know what people want and how they want to buy, correct?
Right, correct.
Is that something that you actually went through and did, or you just said, okay, so these are the people I've sold to, maybe I should go after more of those? Was there any process that you went through for that?
So with my Facebook Marketplace postings, initially, I was all over the place. I was posting all kinds of houses, but then I started noticing like what houses got the most love, what I got the most messages from. So I started catering to that. Like, there's a town east of Phoenix, like 40 minutes from Phoenix. And I posted a couple manufactured homes on their own lot. And mind you, the price is not low. It's not like 200,000, right? It's like more in the like $300,000 range. And I get flooded with messages about those houses. So guess what I do? I post about a lot of those houses now because people are like, oh, manufactured home. A house is a house. A sell is a sell. Like, I don't care. Obviously, like my price point is about like the average for Phoenix is I don't sell $1 million houses. My houses are more like for first-time home buyers, families, that need those down payment assistance programs. And I'm okay with that. Like, the message I got from God is help your people see that the impossible is possible. And sometimes you have to start somewhere. And this is usually where they start.
Right. That's really cool. I mean, one of the things I got a couple of random questions. Can you target your market on Marketplace?
No, you can't. You can't.
So
you can't.
Go ahead.
Kinda. So another thing I did is I joined all the like the yard sale groups on Facebook. There's tons of those, right? Like yard sale of this town, or buy, sell used stuff, or like all those groups that are on Facebook where they sell stuff. Yes, I went and joined all of the groups. And so like if the house is in a specific town, I post to all those groups in that specific town. So you can target them if you join all of those groups. So kinda, I guess, is the answer.
So you're taking your Facebook Marketplace post and posting it on those groups.
Yeah, you share it to the yard sale groups, the rest of the yard sale groups on Marketplace. Or
it's really important, and I'm sure you have a strategy to do that, just to make sure that you're not overdoing it. Sometimes, is that true?
Not really. I just post until they don't let me. And sometimes, sometimes I got kicked out of groups, and that's fine because there's 10 other groups.
Okay. I mean, there's so many little things here that are easy, right? It's easy. And, I think, I think this is like one of the most ingenious ways to build a business and for you to make make a good living selling real estate and doing it this way. You know, and groups, I've always told agents, they say, well, I don't know many people in the area. I said, well, start joining groups, and you don't have, once you start doing this, you will get noticed. So, all right. So you get all these messages, right? Can you sell houses to all of them, or are they?
No, leads? I mean, their names and number, their messages up until you get a name and number, and then their leads when you get them into your CRM, right? So I get flooded with messages. I think I've gotten, like, no joke, over 3,000 messages, over 500 actual names and numbers. And so do all of them transact? No, a lot of them are not credit ready. They're not money ready. They're missing something. So, you know, the way I found to make my life easier, because on Facebook Marketplace, you had to post from your personal page. Yes. So there aren't a lot of automations because you're posting from your personal page. If I were able to post from a business page, then I can get like the many chats and all of those bots, right? But you can't do that. You can't plug those into your personal page. So what I did to make my life easier is there's text replacements. I think Brittany said they're called something else on Android, but on iPhone, they're text replacements. So if you go to your settings, your keyboard settings, you can actually, you know, create like a little cheat sheet, right, of different messages that you normally send. So like I have a little message where I type in *1 and it'll type out a message for me. Hi, my name is Dorally from eXp Realty. And then I type whatever else I need to type, but I already saved a couple seconds by not typing, hi, my name is Dorally. Do you have an offer for this house? So it's the same thing with Facebook Marketplace. Like everybody gets the same response, either in Spanish or English. A lot of people are like, why don't you copy paste? Because I get like 3 messages in Spanish, 6 in English, or vice versa. If I go back and forth, like copy paste each one, I'm wasting a lot of time, right? So I created text replacements with my response. Like I said, everybody gets the same response. I have a little cheat code in Spanish and one for English, and it takes me 3 seconds to type in that cheat code into my message response and hit send. And so it takes me 3 seconds to respond to each one of the messages I get.
And this has built a database for you of people you can respond to and to reach out to. Is that correct?
Right. So then, you know, everybody gets the same message. Hi, my name is Dorally. Thanks for reaching out about this house. I have a great lender that has this program. I go into the program a little bit. I go into the little bit of the requirements, minimum 660 credit score or whatever it is. Would you like more information? A lot of people don't respond to it. So that's why I don't want to spend a lot of time on typing all these things out. Took me 3 seconds. If they don't respond, no big deal, I move on. But if they respond with more questions, or they usually just send me their phone number, they're giving me their information.
Right.
I'm just prompting them they're giving me their information. Then I put it in my CRM and I have a conversation with them.
So in your listing of the house, what information are you not putting in?
I am not including my website. I'm including my phone number. Depending on the group setting, your phone number is either going to be hidden or it's going to show up. And I haven't figured it out yet. My buddy Isela and I do this all the time. She's local here. And I'm like, what is it? Like, why is it some groups show our phone number and some groups don't? We have no idea. We don't ask questions. We just post. But I don't post any links, because a lot of groups don't let you share to the group if there is an external link to something else. So I just took out the link, my website link.
So are you posting the address, the price, all that?
Yeah, so I'm posting the major cross streets.
Cross streets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The price, the current listed price, and then a brief description. Again, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, big backyard, RV gate, pool, whatever it is they're highlighting.
But you're not giving the exact address.
I'm not. And a lot of people just message me because they might be working with another realtor. I don't know. And they ask me for the address. You know, I used to be the kind of like a gatekeeper, but it it takes a lot of time to be gatekeeping.
It
So now if
does.
they ask me for an address, I send them the address. If they come back to me, then that's fine. But if not,
See,
then
just a point on that I'd like to add, and that's bravo for you for just doing that. Years ago when I first, well, not when I first got into business, but when I was in the business for a long time before the internet, we were the gatekeepers of the information. They had to come to us for the information. We had these books that were this thick. And then every day we got new listings. We got papers delivered. It was great for delivery services at that time. But we were the keepers of the information. And as time went on, people didn't want to give out the information as the internet started. And it did start. And you know what? We weren't the gatekeepers anymore. We opened the door. We let everybody in. Shouldn't have, but we did. And then Zillows of the world have taken over, and they've got the information. So, and especially with the way Google Earth is and the way you can search, on Google, et cetera, which we jokingly call the Google machine, you can basically find anything.
yeah.
So, so why not give out the information?
Mhm.
And look, people are contacting you because they want something. Doesn't hurt if you help them, because I think there's enough business to go around, number one. And number two, we're going to help the people that want to be helped, right?
Exactly. You just want the address, and I'm not gonna, I always say, like, my job is not to convince you to buy a house. My job is to lead you and help you along the way. But I'm not going to try to convince you to buy a house from me. You're going to buy it because you trust me and you want to, really, like, I don't know if that's wrong of me thinking, but
no, it's not at all. I mean, let's be real. I mean, your job is to help people get into that house, and
facilitate it, right?
The interesting thing that we started this with, when you start in the real estate business, and one of the things I try to help agents with all the time is you need to know what your I help statement is. I mean, it sounds really crazy. Like, people put on Instagram what they are and all this other stuff. I help people. I'm a great realtor, or I'm one of my mentees, the millennial realtor, right? And it's all very cool and stuff. But what do you do, right? And you said, basically, I don't know where it's in my notes. Got to find it, but it says, you help people get into the house with what they need to do, and you also started everything that you do with faith. And you had that started with that help statement, right? And you also started with something else, and I want to get right back to that, which is the impossible is possible. And that is so important when you're thinking about things to do and things to lead gen, because I think a lot of agents, and correct me if I'm wrong, they think that, okay, so what can I do that somebody else isn't doing? That's the mindset, right? And I truly believe, I don't know about you, Dorally, but I truly believe that there are no secrets in our business. It's just a matter of, you're going to do something that you never heard before and you think it's new. And then later on you find out, oh yeah, we've been doing that for years. So, I mean, the whole thing is to be persistent, consistent with everything you do. And you are still at this time, still finding new ways to do it. So, when you respond to everybody, do you ever come across people that have a home to sell as well?
They do, yeah. Sometimes if I've posted bigger properties, I've tried A/B testing, right? Like, try posting a few different things. So I started posting ranches, like houses with acreage. So, like, those houses usually tend to get a little more love from people that maybe have a house to sell. They want to upgrade to something bigger, better, further away from the city or whatever. So I have come across people that needed to list their house in order to buy a new one. So it's not just buyers that I'm targeting. Most of my advertisement is towards first-time home buyers, but I do get those, existing homeowners to reach out to me if it's a nicer property than what they have. And a lot of times they're not even looking, right? They're not even looking to buy a house. They're looking for a couch. And then they run into this beautiful house I posted,
I was looking for a couch and went out yesterday and bought a house.
Right, yeah.
This goes, and I want everybody to come back. This comes back to something I have said for years and years and years. And people say, well, Facebook marketing, it's a lot of crap. And I've worked with what I consider to be the best guy out there, Grant Wise, when it comes to Facebook marketing and to get buyers and sellers for homes. And one thing I want everybody to understand if you think that you're going to start this business and you're going on social media and you're going to be a hit right away, think again. People do not wake up on Saturday morning and say, I'm going to Facebook to find a house. It just doesn't happen. You just said they're looking for a couch. They're looking for a power tool, whatever they're looking for, and they come across the house. I mean, if you've ever searched a marketplace, you know exactly what we're talking about. So how do you handle when all the leads are coming in and you kind of like they've come through the funnel? Well, let me ask you this question before I get there. Do you believe that there's a better percentage of using Facebook Marketplace for leads that actually turn into transactions? Or is it just the same as everything else, 1 to 5%?
I think it's the same as anything else. Like I always, when I talk about these leads, I tell everybody to treat these Facebook Marketplace leads as you would a Zillow lead. What you want is to get in front of them, and the conversion is about the same, to be honest with you. So if they contact you, they want to go see a house, like a Zillow lead, you get up and go show it, right? This is the same thing that you do with this type of lead as well, because they're probably going to transact with the first person that they meet. So just get up and show the house. Like with the Zillow lead, you don't ask questions, right? Because Zillow says don't ask questions, just go open the door. Treat these leads the same. The difference is that you're not giving anyone else a percentage of your commission. And what is it now? Like 35% that you're giving Zillow? Like this is your lead. Like this is free. You don't have to pay anything.
So I would probably be remiss if we're broadcasting this on April 5th, 2024. And our business is going to be changing as time goes on. As it did in the late 90s with agency, we're going to have some things coming up. Have you decided to make any changes in what you do, or have you considered the atmosphere of today's real estate business to what it might be in the next few months?
It's going to be different conversations that I'm going to start having right now. I honestly, I just get up and go, right? And I'm riding the wave until the wave is not there anymore. But obviously different conversations are going to need to be had. Right now, I'm just getting up and go show the house, but it's going to be different now, right? Like I'm going to need to have a consultation first before I can even show a house, or hopefully that doesn't change. I don't know. We don't know what's coming up, right? Like we're not certain. So honestly, I don't like, I haven't really thought about it, because I'm just going with what I know right now. I'm not one that stresses much about the future. I'm like, let's live now. Let's take advantage of what I have now.
So great. So perfect. That's actually perfect. So, in this day and age where inventory is low, how is inventory in Arizona, by the way?
It's low. Like we're a multiple offer situation again.
Okay, great. Okay. So how does a zero down customer get a house in a multiple offer situation?
I advise them. Well, okay, let me go back. That zero loan program that I'm using is a conventional loan. For some reason, listing agents favor conventional loans. So like that's not the problem there. The issue might come with asking for concessions. So now I'm advising clients, hey, I can get you zero down payment, but you might have to cover your closing cost, or we go to a house that's been maybe on the market a little bit longer where we can negotiate that. And they usually go to a house that I can negotiate that for them.
So you've done your homework on loans for your avatar, et cetera, et cetera. So, all right. So when you started and got into business, I mean, you didn't have Facebook Marketplace, but you went out with a lot of social media. So I want to give you a scenario. You're a new agent today in April of 2024, and you need to make money. And you've decided, you know what? I'm going to do real estate, and I'm going to make a living. What would you advise that new agent today?
I mean, do a lot of social media. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but you fake it till you make it, right? I was going on Facebook Live, just regular Facebook Live, and I was doing open houses. People thought I was busy. They started reaching out to me because they thought I knew what I was talking about. But do Facebook has given me so many clients. TikTok has given me so many clients lately. And what I do is I just grab my phone. I go record a home tour, and I post it on TikTok, Facebook Marketplace, or wherever. Do the Facebook Marketplace. It's free. All you have to do is go on your MLS, pick a house, and post it on Facebook Marketplace. Like, those are good ways of generating leads for sweat equity, pretty much.
Yeah, and what's really what's really cool is that you post everything, but your posts do have a method to what you do, and that's the important part when we're talking about social media. Because if you want to go out and just post houses and all this other stuff, I don't believe it's going to have much merit to it. But the way you've done it and everything, and you can check out Doraly's social media. Her Instagram is up, and she's also on Facebook, as we are right now with her name and everything else. So, all right. So that's how you're going to build your business. We've had some great conversations here. We've talked about having faith. We talked about taking action. We've also talked about something that nobody really ever thinks about, Facebook Marketplace, but a specific process to do that, and a specific actions, and knowing your avatar, knowing your client, etc., and moving forward and building a business.
I just want to add one more piece of advice to new agents as well. What I tell new agents is, you don't sell houses. And they all look at me like, what are you talking about? We're in real estate. What you sell is trust. You're helping somebody buy the biggest asset of their life. If they don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. So what you need to learn to do is to sell trust, to sell yourself. The houses are a byproduct of you, of what you're doing. So remember that you sell trust, not houses.
So I'm going to ask you a really hard question. How do you sell trust?
You are authentically yourself.
100%. Bingo. That is
it's not hard at all. And a lot of people, it's very simple, but a lot of people overcomplicate it in their head. Just be you. I am silly. I cuss a lot sometimes. As soon as my client is like I've been good this time, but like as soon as my client throws an F-bomb, I'm like, yes, my people. And then,
Dorally, I got to tell you that one of the things that I'm a bit different, as some people know, and when I coach scripts and dialogues, and it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
And I tell people that if someone gives you a hard time on the phone, they curse you, you curse back at them. Not at them, but if they say, why they calling me? Right. I said, I'm effing calling you to help you sell your house. Right. So you just put it right back. Right. So I'm being a little different. I'll say, you know what? I'm sure you hear a lot of shit from other real estate agents. I'll say something like that. And you just said it right there, Dorally. Says, yeah, they're my people.
Yeah.
Me too. Me too. And believe me, I grew up and born and raised in New Jersey, and this is what we do. Anyway, look, and this has been a lot of fun, and I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your expertise and your experience. I want to just say that just for next week, we have another great broadcast. We have the Lindsay Stevens coming on, team leader at Stevens Real Estate in New York. She's a great friend of the broadcast and a great friend, period. And you are going to learn some stuff. You've learned a lot today. You're going to learn more next week. So Lindsay Stevens is going to be on next Friday, April 12th. It's going to be a lot of fun. Dorally, I have one question and one other thing for you, if I may. So the question is, how can I help you grow your business?
You've already helped me. I am honored to be here. Honestly, just keep doing what you do. That helps me a lot. Keep bringing all these people. I learned a lot from everybody that you brought on. You interview some great people, so just keep doing what you do. I love it.
Thank you so much. And look, guys, if you want to know about this process that Dorally has, her contact information is on the screen, as well as you can DM me and I can help you with it too. I'll look forward to seeing Lindsay next week and seeing you again on Fast Forward Movement. And then there's the hat.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
The hat's coming out. It's going to be mailed this week. Everybody who comes on a broadcast gets a hat, and it's like it's the thing now. And we're going to stick with this color. We're not going to change it anymore. Thank you so much for joining the broadcast today. Stay on for 1 minute as we go out. Everybody, will see you next week. Dorally Hangout. See ya. Hit it, Nelson.
Hey!